Good evening, guys. Hi, hope everyone is keeping well. Yeah, Rob here for another video. It's a catch up of some vinyl and so on that I picked up at Ben's at the weekend. A little bit late doing this, so I intended to do it on Sunday night, but I was knackered, so I didn't get around to it. So, but yeah, yeah, I've got quite a lot to get through. Spent a fair bit of money, so yeah, I don't want to keep you all night, so let's get on with it. Okay, so the first one, bit of a cheapie. I didn't have anything on vinyl by this band, but I thought I'd pick it up because it was cheap. So this is Manfred Mann's Earth Band and the album Watch. This is from 1978, I think. Was it recorded 77? Yeah, I've seen this album around a lot, as with a lot of the Earth Band albums from the 70s. I've just never picked them up. Not that I've got nothing against Manfred Mann. I like what I hear, but I just, you know, there's just so much music, and I just never seen to pick them up. So anyway, but this one had Davies on the Road Again, which is, I think, was a single. It's one that I've always been a fan of, Robbie Robertson song. So I thought I'd pick it up. It comes in a nice lyric inner with their sort of back catalogue on there, the band. And it's on bronze in really nice condition, and it was really cheap, so very happy to get that into the collection. Okay, the next one, a continuation of my Penguin Cafe Orchestra collection. I always pick these up when I see them. So this is When in Rome. So this is a live album from 1987, arguably at the sort of peak of their creativity and I guess their popularity. So yeah, obviously the band leader Simon Jeffers writes majority of the material. Yeah, and it's just a run through of some of their more better known, or you know, sort of better songs from their albums, the studio albums. So you got Air a Dancer and things like Music for a Found Harmonium, which is really nice. Prelude and Yodel. Yeah, nice to get on Editions EG. Nice minty copy. And it is literally mint, so looks like it's just never been played. It's actually live at the Royal Festival Hall. It's not recorded in Rome at all. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. You only get the most accurate information from me on this channel. There you go. So yeah. Obviously an ironic title there. Okay, next one surprised me actually, because I've never been a huge fan of this band. I like sort of bits and pieces that I've heard, but yeah, I streamed this one and really enjoyed it. This is Van der Graaf Generator's debut album, The Aerosol Grey Machine from 1969. This is a reissue on Mercury. Yeah, and yeah, I really like this. I mean, I've always liked Peter Hamill's voice, but the songs on this, I think it's probably because it's slightly less proggy than their later stuff. Not that I've got anything against progressive music, but their particular sort of brand of heavy prog sometimes hasn't really hit the spot for me. But I thought the songwriting on this was was really, really quality, and I just like the feel and pace of the album. So, and it kind of reminded me, his voice, particularly of Bowie. I think the sort of Space Oddity and sort of Man Who Sold the World period, which is sort of, you know, it does have a bit of a proggy kind of edge to it on some of the songs. And yeah, really, really nice listen. So glad to get that one. Okay, delighted to see this one. I have seen this one on occasion. It's not always been in the best condition though. Yeah, so once I checked it over, I was very happy to grab this. This is Can's 1974 album, Soon Over Babaluma, in the original foil cover. Obviously you get a little bit of ring wear there, but I guess impossible with a sleeve like that to not. On United Artists, the only thing that's wrong with it, the display is absolutely fine, but there's some sort of scribble and scrawl on the label. But I think it is an original first pressing, and it sounds excellent, yeah. And, so obviously, sort of Damo Suzuki had left by this stage with the vocals of Michael Caroli. But yeah, I mean, for me, just the opener, just Dizzy Dizzy, is just wonderful. Just a fantastic, weird, funky, kind of sort of very atmospheric song that's just very hypnotic. It's only about 5.5 minutes, so it doesn't kind of outstay its welcome. But you know, once you get into that kind of hypnotic sort of bass and drums that they specialize in, it's hard to pull yourself away. Wonderful, wonderful listen. Okay, this one I was delighted, but ever so slightly disappointed at the same time. I've been looking for a copy of the Prison soundtrack for quite a long time. There's been there's a kind of I think it's a 6-disc CD version that you can buy with just everything on it, including outtakes and stuff that wasn't used in the original series, commentary and all sorts of stuff. I love The Prisoner. I'm not that much of a fanatic or a completist. So, but I had seen this one advertised from the 80s, and when Ben got a copy in, yeah, I snapped it up. So this is the 1985 release of the Prisoner soundtrack. It's great gimmick cover there with the bars kind of opening, and then I can't remember the name of the episode. It's the one where he goes up for election up against number 2, his nemesis. And yeah, I mean, just the music's just great. You've got loads of different composers doing it. I think Ron Grainer, interestingly, came up and adapted the main theme, which he actually got from Patrick McGoohan whistling it. So, so yeah, I mean, not only did he star and direct it and write it, he also was responsible for instigating some of the iconic music within. So, yeah, incredible actor as he was, and artist. Yeah. So the disappointment part came in for me because I think the original versions of this, or there was a deluxe version of this, sorry, that came out with a sort of pull-out map, and there was a kind of a booklet with it as well, and yeah, map of the village, and you know, all sorts of goodies and stuff. But it still has a good inner sleeve with some kind of production notes on there. Nice graphic there, and custom label of the bike, Charabanc kind of logo, and it's released on Bam Caruso Records. Whatever that is, no, I'm not familiar with that. But yeah, happy to finally have a copy of that soundtrack. Okay, next one was a Scott Walker album that I didn't have. After his fourth album didn't sell, I think management and the record company were looking for something a little bit more commercial. This is what Scott produced. So this is Till the Band Comes In from 1970. So yeah, I mean, I really like this album. Some of his 70s albums, especially when he started to get back with the Walker Brothers, I wasn't that mad on. They're a bit patchy. This is still very strong. It is certainly more poppy than his previous couple of albums, certainly, but it's still got that kind of edge that makes the songs really interesting. Unlike its predecessor, he doesn't write all the material. There's some covers here and some co-written songs, but yeah, there's some belters on here. Gene the Machine, the title track, Little Things That Keep Us Together is great as well, which I suspect may have been a single because that's quite commercial. But yeah, it's really good album, and glad to add that one to my Scott Walker collection. Okay, and then I was kind of chatting with Ben, excuse me, and he sort of asked me the question. He says, have you ordered anything off Amazon or anything online? You know, have you got anything that you kind of pre-order? I haven't had anything on pre-order that's kind of come out that I've been looking for quite a while. But I did mention that I was looking to get the deluxe version of the Who Sellout. And he said, you mean that up there? And he had a copy of it. So, yeah, it's a bit hefty, this one. So, yeah, I did and ah a little bit about it, but the price was over half of what it goes for, but he knocked some more money off, and it bought it just over half of what it goes for new. So I absolutely I had to snap his hand off for that, because it's just mint, absolutely mint. So this is this is the deluxe version of their third album from 1967 that was reissued in this deluxe version. This came out in 2020, so about 3 years ago. I fully intended to get it at the time, so I'm obviously very late to the party with this. But yeah, I think the price was quite high. Excuse me, at the time, I didn't want to pay the money. Yeah, I mean, there's just other stuff that I ended up picking up, and then, you know, it just kind of gets one of those ones that remains on your kind of wants list. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's probably quite a few of you that have got this, but for those that haven't seen it, it's kind of comes in two parts. So there's this kind of usual thick slip case that reproduces the original album. And then there's this folder. There's a picture of them on the front there, and you kind of open it up. And there's a couple of gig posters there from the time on the flaps as you open it up, and there's just a ton of stuff in here. So there's obviously a reproduction of the psychedelic poster that you got originally in the album. I think there was only about 1,000 copies or something like that. I won't get it out because I'm sure you've all seen it anyway. Things like little novelty things like a facsimile of Keith Moon's Speakeasy membership card. It's just crazy. A newsletter from the Who official fan club. There's honorary membership there of the crazy world of Arthur Brown. That's quite nice to see that. Some press photos, facsimiles of those. Car sticker. What else we got? 45 adapter. Bag of Nails Club. Few of the bits and pieces as well. Oh, another poster here. What's this? City Hall. And there we go. That's nice. That might go up on the wall at some stage. And yeah, a nice couple of singles as well, reproductions. So we've got first one is Magic Bus, UK single mono mix, and the B-side of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Reproduced under the old Decca label there. And yeah, the wonderful I Can See for Miles, the B-side of Someone's Coming, both in mono as well. And then the main kind of part itself, which is the, it's a kind of book, really, really nice illustrated book with 5 CDs. So you've got a bit like the Rolling Stones 50th anniversary version of Satanic Majesty's Request. You've got a mono and a stereo mix of the original album. Then there's also some studio sessions from 67 to 68. There's one called The Road to Tommy, which is songs that were coming out just prior to the release of Tommy. So studio stuff that they were doing, Magic Bus, some singles, etc. The wonderful Melancholia appears on there as well. And then CD5, which is Pete Townshend's demos. He always used to do home demos where he's just playing all the instruments, bass, drums, guitar, vocal parts, which is interesting. Yeah, and to say the book's just got some fabulous photos in about the album. Speakeasy Club, sort of experience with pirate radio stations, full write-up by Pete Townshend. Really, really nice. Lovely, big, thick quality book. Yeah, so delighted to finally get a copy of that. Okay, and then just a couple of, to end with, just some upgrades that were inexpensive. So I've got a really clean copy of Cat Stevens' Buddha and the Chocolate Box from '74. The cover's just in much nicer condition than mine. The one that was all split, falling apart. I'll show you, 'cause, you know, I'm sure you're all familiar with that. And this one, In Search of the Lost Chord, Moody Blues '68 album. Again, just a nice cover with a clarifoil without any splits or anything like that. On original Decca. So that's it, guys. yeah, really pleased with all that. Plenty of listening again. Slowly working my way through the Who box set. Really enjoying that. So yeah, hope everybody is keeping well, and you're having a good week. And yeah, I'll catch up again with another video soon. Cheers, guys. Take care. All the best. Bye bye.